as ever, with the brand, I think we're now told that they're not going to restock.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from the podcast.
Yes, that was
a
a
topic on the podcast where
yeah.
she mentioned that, I might not restock this year.
She might go into a rebrand and kind of veer into fashion, for example. As ever isn't just going to be.
This just plays into the whole thing. There's just, where's the direction? Where are they going? They're just throwing mud at a wall and hoping something
it's
sticks.
low risk. She's literally losing nothing. This is, when I tell you, this is the same strategy that every woman with a very wealthy husband who's just pumping enough into her business to keep her happy. This is exactly what's happening. When Sue was saying, they had an initial launch and they did really well because they sold out. Well, how many units did you actually sell? She could have sold 50 jars, and if it sold out, it sold out. And that's a success in her book. We don't know anything. We don't know the metrics of this business. And it's clearly in its infancy. It's still finding its feet and all of that. She doesn't really know what she's doing. Again, which is fine because you can hire people that do. But to go from selling jam and shortbread and all of that, which is reportedly sold out, to not restocking and then kind of having this haphazard view of what you're going to do next and potentially go into fashion, she doesn't know what she's doing. It's just a hobby. But that's fine because she's rich and hot.
You feel it's more of a hobby rather than an actual...
There's not a single person that looks to Meghan Markle as some sort of business or commercial genius, or even competent. She doesn't need to be.
But again, because it's not been, I personally cynically don't think it will be proven, but it hasn't even been proven yet. She hasn't been able to build a business where she would be able to give that advice, which is why the podcast felt quite premature, I suppose, in that way as well. OK. We did see a little bit of Lilibet this week on Instagram. This is one of the, I think maybe the second or third time we have seen partial part of her face. I mean, is this the way that... Is this an accident, do you think, for Meghan? Because we talked about the fact that they normally hide their faces in most of their pictures on social media. There's been a few that's come out. But is this an accident, or do you think is this something we might see more and more now?
Another day, another Meghan Markle project, another headline, another new era. But behind the polished press releases and high-budget trailers lies a simple truth. Meghan's so-called productions are less groundbreaking television and more rich housewife hobbies. It's a pattern: try something, sell the story, and when it flops, quietly move on to the next shiny idea. Let's break it down, from the lifestyle blog to the Spotify podcast, from the Netflix docuseries to rumored cooking shows. Every project seems to begin with the same hype. We hear the same phrases: authentic storytelling, empowerment, redefining the narrative. And yet, every time, the result feels forced, hollow, almost like she's throwing ideas at the wall to see which one sticks. It's not innovation, it's improvisation. Now, that's not unusual for creatives. But here's the difference. Most creatives build from passion. Meghan's ventures, however, seem powered by position, by the royal connection she claims to have outgrown. Without that royal shine, would these shows even make headlines, or would they fade? Just another influencer project in a crowded marketplace? Think about it. The Netflix docuseries wasn't a breakthrough in storytelling, it was a confessional. The podcast wasn't a cultural reset, it was a celebrity guest list. And her upcoming lifestyle empire? Well, it feels less like vision, and more like distraction. Meghan's not building a legacy, she's chasing relevance.
I suspect there's a bit of tension going on with Harry and Meghan in terms of how much of their children to actually reveal. Yep. I think with Harry making such a public, his issue with security, I think not having their faces in the media is something that he's really trying to remain firm on. But I think Meghan sees the commercial value in having tidbits and like saying, oh, actually, these kids are human and they're real. They're not pets that I keep going on about. So I suspect there's a bit of tension there. I suspect maybe they say when the kids are 5 or 10, then we will unveil their faces. I don't know. But I do think they have different strategies. I really don't see what she thinks the public are going to get out of having pictures of like a miniature back, for example, like a small human, the back of a small human. I don't really see what is the commercial value there. If you're gonna do that and you're going to lean into like kids' clothes, for example, just do it, But she's not doing that, and it's just, this is what happens when your view of yourself and your view of reality is completely adrift from everyone else's.
Now, one that I'm looking forward to, pictures-wise, to see the face, is these 4 new puppies, okay, that have arrived at Adelaide Cottage with William and Catherine. This is exclusive in The Sun this week, and we know that Orla, their black Cocker Spaniel, has had 4 puppies. We don't know the father Yeah,
I
so
love that
waiting.
part. I love that part
waiting.
of the report because it sounds like there's going to be like a Maury Povich, Jerry Springer style reveal down the line.
Well,
we don't know who the father is, but we've got the envelope.
I'm hoping for this. I'm hoping for the first pictures. You know, I'm hoping for like, you know, an unveiling at Buckingham Palace, a christening with all the family photos. But it's good news, isn't it? We get 4 new dogs. The dogs are very important to the royal family. They're very important to James Middleton, who is Catherine's brother, who breeds dogs. So we think maybe the dogs came from that direction, but the children, they must be absolutely delighted to get 4 new puppies.
It's so cute. It's so good for kids too to have that early stages of you know, we had puppies born when I was little, and you have to take care of them, and you suddenly have a little bit of responsibility, and it's really exciting. I don't know if will they keep 4?
Still waiting to find out.
So maybe don't get too attached, but it's very sweet in the initial stage. And as you said, you know, there was for such a long period last year, it was kind of all bad news from the Wales camp. And so you get these ones and it's cute. And it's nice to imagine the kids, after what has undoubtedly been a tough time, you know, having 4 little puppies running around. It would be very sweet.
There's a deeper message here. For someone who spoke of breaking free from the royal system, Meghan still trades heavily on its currency. She rebrands herself as independent, yet her work constantly references the life she supposedly left behind. It's a cycle of contradiction, the same narrative, repackaged and resold. So yes, Meghan's shows feel like rich housewife hobbies. They're glamorous, expensive, and ultimately disposable. And while she keeps tossing ideas into the spotlight, hoping one might finally make her a serious Hollywood force, the audience can see the pattern. Because behind every launch is the same old storyline. A woman desperate to prove she doesn't need the royal family, by reminding everyone she was once part of it. This isn't creativity, it's confusion dressed in couture. And eventually, even the most polished projects start to crack under their own pretense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Do you think they'll need to show us some photographs?
I think they'll show us photographs of the ones they end up keeping. But I'm not. So I see puppies or animals, and I just see responsibility, and I'm like, I'm just about being an adult. I'm just about taking care of myself. I don't really want to have to chase anything. It needs a pee pad. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, guys. Right, we've just got time for our quick-fire questions. Okay, so take a deep breath. Following Meghan's second stab at a podcast venture, but a successful sold-out merch line, what do you think Meghan should do next as part of her lifestyle brand as ever?
I was going to say fashion, but you actually said something before that's made me think this would be a better idea. I think she should do children's clothing as part of... It would make more sense for her rolling the kids out more on Instagram. But also, I can see that's, you know, if you go walk down Kings Road and whatever, and you see those beautiful little boutiques, I can see there being quite a high-end children's clothing line for her Montecito set with kids. I think that would be possibly an area that fits with what she's doing. And
I think she should kind of lean into, if she's not going to give us a tea and be salacious and spicy like I want her to be, lean into kind of the children's clothes, something to do with theatre, so like leaning into her own professional background. So as ever, like sort of theatre or acting books or classes or retreats or whatever. She can actually do things that doesn't involve her having this really curated view. She can just be the face of a brand and then have really community, child-friendly things like clothes and acting and all of that. I think she can lean into that. That'd be
You want a podcast that is basically confessions of a...
Oh, I want the real tea. I want all the juicy stuff.
To find out her waxer.
I want to know your waxing lady. I want to know what perfume you wore, what was the lingerie on the first date. I want to know all of it.
Maybe in a book, if she writes a book one day.
I don't want to read a book. I want to hear them because I want to dig more.
Okay. Off the back of Trudeau's gazelles, what has been your favourite instance of off-duty or laid-back fashion from a royal?
Oh, I know exactly what it was. It immediately came to my head. Princess Diana with the bike shorts and the Northwestern jumper, the sweater and the runners. That is, I think it was 1996 as a photo of her. I think she's leaving the gym. Absolutely iconic, to the point where I think Hailey Bieber recreated it for Vogue a few years ago, which was kind of weird. But the point is that it became this iconic moment. And she did that. She'd have the college sweatshirts and the bike shorts, and she looked so cool.
I've got a story about that, by the way.
Were you there?
No.
I was about to say.
And
she's carrying a Gucci bag. That's part of it.
The photographers, because they used to make a lot of money selling pictures of Princess Diana, every time she turned up to Chelsea Harbour Gym, she started wearing the same clothes every day so that the pictures wouldn't look new, so they wouldn't make money off it. That's quite clever.
That's really interesting.
Quite clever, yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to go Princess Diana as well, but that little black dress. I think
the revenge dress.
The revenge dress.
That is spectacular.
Because I just think, like, I tell the boy, I'm like, if you mess up, I'm wearing that. Shorter. 2 inches shorter.
That was a stunning dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, what names would you give to the Wales' 4 new puppies?
1, 2, 3 and 4.
You're not a big fan of
Absolutely.
dogs.
Those, I just can't be bothered with names. Because if I give you, like, exotic names, then I have to remember it.
Fine.
But also, as we said, I don't know if they're keeping them or not. You've got to be really careful not to start naming the pets if you're not going to keep them, because the kids will get very attached. They should give them little titles, though, like, Earl, Dukey, things like that, like cute stuff.
Marquez.
Yeah, get a bit, have a bit of fun with that. But again, unless they're keeping them, don't name them.
Well, if they keep them, in theory, you have one for Charlotte, one for George, one for Louis, but then you've got the spare.
We know what happened to
Just call it
spares.
Harry. Just have to call it Harry.
Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing.
Right, thanks so much, guys. That was awesome. That's all we have time for on this week's Royal Exclusive. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments as we do read them, and don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. We'll see you next week.